Well, with temperatures nearing the century mark and the school year ending soon, it's pool time in southern Arizona. But the #1 cause of unintentional death in small children is drowning. Captain Adam Goldberg, for any family. Captain, thank you for coming in.
You're welcome. You know, it's very important that we start early getting this message out because tomorrow it's 100 degrees. Kids are already in pools. In southern Arizona, we've seen 4 water-related incidents, and unfortunately, just the other day, one of those incidents turned fatal for a 3-year-old. And it just bothers me to no end, and all first responders are trying to say, we don't want to respond to these drownings anymore. We don't want the calls anymore. So we're out here to talk about what we can do to prevent it.
And, you know, pools are so attractive to the little ones.
They are.
They will find a way to get in.
They will. And, you know, we've always talked about, and we still believe in the ABCs of water safety. The B is the barriers and the fences. You know, make sure they're in good working order, but kids can always find a way to climb over or get in. And it's important to have them, but it's not as important as the first letter of the alphabet, which is the A. And I'll come back to that. You need to know CPR, because in the event of an emergency, you've got to be able to help, and it does make a difference, and it saves lives. But what really...
Party, because, you know, it's easier to get in and out.
And you know, several times in our fatal incident that we had 2 years ago was because of a party, a pool gate was left open, and everybody assumes that somebody else is watching the small children, and that's where we're getting into trouble. So it does come down to adult supervision at all times. You can't avoid the responsibility that if the children are near water, your eyes have to be on them at all times, and nothing else.
No answering telephones.
No telephones, no chit-chatting, no catching up, no phone calls, no reading books or magazines, no falling asleep, because unfortunately parents think that it's going to work and keep them above water. But what happens is that they jump into the water, this comes up and right off.
Yep.
And then the child submerges underwater. So there are very good warnings on the packaging, but I don't want parents or guardians or anybody responsible to watching children around water to rely on, but just as dangerous as not having the adult supervision.
I have to say, Adam, I was a lifeguard down in Fort Huachuca, and we did not allow these.
And I totally agree with that, because they're really a cosmetic, an ornamental, a fun toy for a child.
Right.
There's no safety in them whatsoever. But there are lifeguard-approved jackets and, you know, swimsuits that have the buoyancy padding in them. This has a strap that will wrap around the child's legs so that it won't come up and fall off. It secures to a child, and this will keep them above water.
Because it's the center of their body mass that will stay floating, right?
That's correct, and there's more buoyancy on the back portion, so it should put them on their back and keep their heads out of water. This does not allow a parent's responsibility to go out the window, though.
Right. Or right on the label?
Absolutely, and it'll be very specific about, this is an approved PFD, which is a personal flotation device. There'll be instructions and sizing for your child. Make sure it's the right size, because you want it to work. But again, adult supervision at all times is what we're going to do to stop the kids from getting into the pools and drowning.
Okay. You know, one more thing I wanted to say about the floaties. Also, I think kids don't realize if they do wear these, that's where the buoyancy is coming from. And so then when they take them off, I remember once my nephew ran toward the pool without them on, not realizing you can't go after the ball without these on, because that's what was helping you float.
You know, once they're on and the water temperatures, you almost forget that they're on your arms, and a sense of security with these floaties. And that's when we have a response. And we do not want to continue to see those patterns. In fire.org, they can call the phone number that you saw on the screen. A number of CPR classes in a number of agencies across southern Arizona. Everybody needs to know it, not only for pool safety, but for everyday safety, because it does save lives.
It does. And I don't want you to have to, or your department to have to respond to any more near drownings. Get rid of the floaties. This is the big #1 thing.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much, Captain.
Thank you.
All right, and Northwest Fire wants to help prevent drowning accidents. To learn more, just call 887-1010 or go online to northwestfire.org. Now let's head over to Amanda with some end of the spring beauty tips. Amanda?